You know that feeling when your mind is just all over the place? Kind of like a crazy river, right? Pulling you in a million different directions? Well, what if you could actually change its course? That's what we're diving into today. We're going to look at this ancient roadmap for the mind, a practice that's all about guiding it step by step toward this incredible ocean of deep, unshakable peace. All right, so here's the game plan. We'll start with the final destination, what this is all about. Then we'll get into the stuff that trips us up, these hidden chains holding us back. From there, we'll jump into the first and second meditations, and then the third and fourth, and finally, we'll tie it all together with this beautiful idea of the mind flowing like a river. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, section 1, the mind's final destination. We're going to try to understand the goal of this whole path. So you might be asking, where is all of this mental training actually supposed to take us? Well, the destination, the big goal, is a state called Nibbana. So what exactly is Nibbana? It's the ultimate goal, right? A state of liberation, peace, and this idea of extinguishing the mental fires that cause suffering. And what's really crucial here is that this isn't some pie in the sky, far away heaven. Nope, it's described as a state you can realize right here, right now. It's about completely putting out those inner fires of greed, hatred, and illusion. It is the ultimate peace. But to get to that peace, we've got to first figure out what's standing in our way. Next up, the 5 hidden chains. These are the obstacles on the path to liberation. So the source texts talk about 5 major roadblocks, and they're called the 5 higher fetters. And get this, these aren't things outside of you. No, the real kicker is that they're super subtle, deeply ingrained habits inside your own mind that literally chain it down and keep it from being truly free. All right, let's break these down. First up, we've got 2 kinds of craving. There's ruparago, that's the sneaky attachment you can get to even really beautiful, peaceful states in meditation. And then aruparago is even sneakier. It's an attachment to formless, purely mental states. Then there's manya, which is conceit. You know that little voice that's always comparing? Am I better? Am I worse? Yeah, that's it. Next is udhacham, restlessness. It's that subtle background hum of what's next that's always buzzing around. And finally, the one that holds them all together, avijja. This is just a fundamental ignorance, not really knowing how things actually work. These 5, these are the chains we're trying to break. Okay, so how in the world do we break these chains? I mean, they're literally part of how our minds operate. It's a great question. And the cool thing is, the texts don't just point out the problem and leave you hanging. No, they give you the solution, a really practical, step-by-step training to forge the key that's going to unlock every single one of them. All right, on to the first and second meditations. We're beginning the journey inward. So this solution we've been talking about, it's a progressive training that takes you through 4 states of super deep meditative absorption. They're known as the jhanas. And this journey, it all starts with the first 2, which are all about building the foundation for some serious inner stillness. So the first jhana, this is where it all begins. It's a state born from seclusion, and it's got directed thought and evaluation, and it's filled with joy and pleasure. What does that mean? Well, you start by intentionally stepping away from all the noise, right? The outer distractions. And you actively guide your mind. And as you do that, as your concentration gets stronger, something pretty amazing starts to happen. This powerful feeling of joy and pleasure bubbles up, and it's not coming from anywhere outside you. It's coming just from the mind being quiet and focused. How cool is that? Okay, now for the second jhana. This is a state born from concentration, but without directed thought. It brings this internal confidence and unification of mind, and it's also filled with joy and pleasure. So as that foundation you built gets stronger, the mind just naturally settles down even more. And here's the big change. In the second jhana, you don't have to try to keep your mind on track anymore. That effort just falls away. The mind just stays put all by itself. It just clicks. And that brings this deep inner confidence and a feeling of wholeness. The joy is still there, but now it's deeper, more stable. Moving on to the third and fourth meditations. This is about deepening into stillness and clarity. So once you've got that strong foundation of concentration, the practice starts to get even more refined, even more subtle. That initial buzz of joy starts to change into this really stable, quiet kind of peace. And here in the third jhana, something really important happens. The joy kind of fades away, and it's replaced by equanimity. You're still mindful, still aware, and you experience this subtle pleasure in the body. So this is a major shift. That big, vibrant joy, it softens. It fades into the background. And what takes its place is this powerful sense of equanimity, like a deep, unshakable balance. You're totally mindful, totally present, but now there's this more subtle, peaceful pleasure, just a profound feeling of contentment that fills you up. And then we reach the fourth jhana. This is the culmination of it all. A state beyond pleasure and pain, of pure equanimity and mindfulness, where all joy and sorrow have just ceased. Think of this as the peak of the mountain. Here, even that subtle pleasure is gone, poof, along with any hint of its opposite, pain or displeasure. What's left is just pure, crystal clear equanimity and mindfulness. The mind is in a state that is completely untouched by the ups and downs of feelings. It's just utterly still, totally clear, and absolutely unshakable. So let's just do a quick recap of this path. You start with that seclusion and joyful focus, then that deepens into unified concentration. From there, it matures into mindful equanimity. And finally, you arrive at pure, still awareness. It's a really clear progression, right? Now for my favorite part, flowing like a river. This is the natural path to the ocean of peace. So you're probably wondering, how does getting super still and quiet actually break those 5 chains we talked about earlier? Well, the source text gives us this absolutely beautiful metaphor to explain how this whole practice completely reshapes the mind. Listen to this. Just as the river Ganges slopes, slants, and inclines towards the east, so too a practitioner who develops and cultivates the 4 jhanas slopes, slants, and inclines towards Nibbana. I mean, wow, this is really the heart of it all. The practice isn't about forcing your mind to do anything, it's about reshaping the very landscape of your mind. It creates this gentle but constant slope, this natural momentum. And just like the Ganges River can't not flow to the sea, a mind that's trained like this will naturally and unstoppably flow right toward that ocean of Nibbana. And this is such a profound point. This whole path isn't about some white-knuckle fight with your own mind, trying to force it to be peaceful. It's not that at all. It's about creating the right conditions inside, almost like you're just digging a channel for a river. When you develop these states of calm and clarity, you're just allowing the mind to do what it naturally wants to do, which is to settle down and flow toward its own peaceful destination. And when you look at it this way, the contrast is just stark, right? Without this kind of practice, the mind is bound by those fetters. It's being pulled all over by restlessness and conceit. It feels like you're constantly struggling against the current. But with the jhana practice, the mind flows freely. It naturally inclines towards peace and clarity. The chains are broken. You stop fighting the current and you start moving with it, flowing effortlessly toward that final ocean of peace, Nibbana. So this ancient map of the mind really leaves us with a pretty deep and personal question, doesn't it? Where does your river flow? When you really take a moment to look at your own mind, at your own habits of thinking and paying attention, which way is it going? Is it flowing towards more restlessness and distraction? Or is it flowing toward a deeper ocean of peace? It's something to think about for sure. Because the path is right there, just waiting.